Hello, here we are again, a live chat today with Jillian Harvey. Jillian is a clinical nutritionist, a health coach, and I say, Jillian, you are one of the smartest people I know. I have huge respect for you and your knowledge and understanding in terms of diet, nutrition, and so much more. So thrilled you're part of the summit. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I really love being part of this summit, and I think it's a great forum for all sorts of, I guess what I'd say is essential knowledge for women as we navigate our way through our lives.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, look, absolutely. I mean, you and I have both had life-changing stuff go on, with the knowledge that we're sharing, and it's we just want everyone to have the same opportunities, really, don't we?
totally.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, do you want to start by just sharing with everyone a little bit about the work that you do?
Sure. So I guess part of my personal life and my professional life have run in parallel. And I think it's a story that's not uncommon in our community, where, I had been working in corporate communications and I reached a point of having my own health crisis. And it was interesting because I got to the point where you just don't know what more you can do to improve your health. And I was very fortunate to come across actually an integrative GP where he's like, we've got to get you off all these drugs, all the medications. Especially, I was a serial antibiotic taker, perpetually sick, which is, again, a really interesting part of this idea of aging. I'm so excited, I have to say, when I work with people. Anyway, so, I was lucky. I think the universe just put people in my path who helped me. And then I realized how powerful lifestyle medicine is. And, in that I put both being physically active and also food is so huge. Um, so still so many myths out there. But what I was going to say is I do get really excited when I had someone contact me during the week and, they were wanting a nutrition consultation and they were under the age of 20. And I was so excited because I thought, wow, this person has got an amazing opportunity to set the trajectory of their life and their health so much earlier than the average person. I think, most of us might scrape into middle age and then stuff starts happening. Again, that was part of my own journey in my late 30s and early 40s. I was diagnosed with things that I didn't expect to have to deal with until far later in my life. And at that point, you could consider, with the average longevity of an Australian woman being 84, I was halfway. And it's like, hang on, I'm going to have to live with this stuff for the rest of my life. And I guess this is the interesting part of the duality of aging, is that, going gently into that dark night type thing, well, we don't have to. But on the flip side, 1 in 2 Australian adults is living with a chronic disease, which in a way almost ages us prematurely. So, and then we're just coping with that and managing it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think the parallels that you talk about and your journey is just something that so many people in the space can resonate with. And what I think I love about, or I'm really excited about what you're going to be talking about, is there's just so much around misinformation around aging, as though it's just a normal part of it. I mean, you hear 50-year-olds complaining, oh, I'm so old, having sore knees and a sore back and being overweight. And that's just all part of it. I'm getting old type thing. But I just think, if only we could give people the information that you're going to share to show them it just doesn't have to be that way.
Absolutely. Although I will admit that there are some factors in the modern world where I think if we're going to do the best by ourselves, live our best life, we will be swimming against the tide. If you consider one factor, like we live in an obesogenic food environment. If we walk into the average first world or Western supermarket with a blindfold on and just reach out, to some packaged food, we've got an 80% chance that it's going to contain sugar in it. So much our food is engineered for palatability that we want more of it. So if we take the average offering, in terms of food that's out there for us, then it is almost inevitable that we will gain weight steadily over the rest of our life, which is quite disturbing, really. And of course, these practices start from infancy, so this process, baby food, we know, and look, I'm going to name it because it's out there and it's a public record, the ACCC, fined Heinz over $2 million, and they actually sought 10 for deceptive health claims attached to baby food. So, this is cradle to grave stuff, chasing us with these ultra processed foods. And certainly from formula right through to, the ones that...
Sustagen.
Yeah. So, and half of these products are just awful. So,
they are, but it's interesting that corporate, it's the ultimate corporate, strategy, isn't it? Get them hooked at that young age, and we've got customers for life. And yeah, gosh, if people come to the summit and they watch your presentation, what are they going to walk away with, Jillian?
Well, I am going to try. No, I will tackle what I think are the 3 elements which contribute towards the holy grail of longevity. So I don't know, I'd turn up for that.
Yeah, me too.
And it's interesting. Yeah, they are all lifestyle, but they're not all food. So, so I will be tackling that. And I think I'll be talking about how do we move forward with chronic disease, identifying things like things, obesogenic food environment. What makes food obesogenic? What are the combinations of foods? And, I don't mind mentioning here, the high carb, high fat diet, and inevitably that combination of foods is high calorie as well. So, and usually hyper palatable. So we just, what's not to, from that sort of palatability point of view, what's not to love about it? And I guess it's worth tackling things like ageism, or maybe I'll just talk about it briefly now. Our longevity is affected by our perspective of aging. So if we view this negatively, it can actually shorten our lives, which is pretty stunning, really, that it's, a big part of it is mindset. But I do also believe, and I've been quite involved in the anti-ageism campaigning that's happened in Australia over the last couple of years, at its most extreme form, ageism becomes elder abuse. And here in Victoria, that's recognised as a form of family violence. So it's really serious. And ageism is something that I think, in a way, we don't want to meet it, but potentially it's a type of discrimination that all of us may face one day in our lives. And it can be ageism of young people of, oh, you're too young, what would you know? You don't have enough experience. They face their own challenges, especially now. I think those of us, probably our generation, who graduated into the recession we had to have in the 90s, and now, I really feel for young people who are graduating into uncertain times economically. And then, later down, we know that once people pass middle age, that again, employment can become really challenging. And we've got the double whammy as women in terms of how we engage, or how the healthcare system engages with us, is that we can experience ageist responses to our health concerns, along with that extra layer of sexism as well. So women, especially older women, have got the potential to not be well served by the medical system, just from a discrimination point of view. So that's and I guess an outcome from that is learning to advocate for ourselves and have that self-belief of, I think you've experienced it, I've experienced it, so many people who might be watching this or watch it at a later time will have that thing where we just knew in our gut that something was wrong, either with ourselves, our own health, or our children's health, and sometimes taking years. I work with women who have lipedema, and there are so many women who are being diagnosed with that in middle and retirement age. So they've lived with a medical condition where they just got told that they're fat for 40 years sometimes. And it is a progressive condition. So you think about the impact of just that, I guess we call it intersectionality of gender and age, of what they've had to live with just because they didn't get a timely diagnosis.
Yeah, it's horrendous. It's horrendous. Well, I definitely will be turning up to listen to what you've got to say. There's so much, I think, that we can learn and take control of ourselves. But, you know, we have to know, right? We have to know what we can do. And this is why I'm so, you know, thrilled that you're a part of it, Jillian, and sharing what you're sharing. I just want to go back to one point that you said, which because it's just so up my alley and I'm so fascinated with it. But the fact that if you see how you see something can change the impact it has on you. And I think that is such an important point, because I think that can be put across so many areas of our lives. You know, the way we see something, you know, something like stress. I was actually talking about this with, you know, my group last night, that there's research showing that just by the way you see stress, it totally changes the impact it has on you.
Totally.
And I just, I mean, I love it. It's so fascinating to me. I think, you know, there's an element of so much out there that we take as truth that lacks the impact of the brain and our thought systems on, you know, the results of it. So I love that you brought that up, because I you know, personally, I'm loving getting older, but I'm also in a space now where I'm metabolically well. So at 40, I'm nearly 50 now, and I felt 20 years older than I do today, 10 years ago. And, you know, I think that's, if we can help people to be able to get to, women to be able to get to that place, you know, aging just does not seem, it's not scary for me now. It's exciting.
Yeah, I think we become more discriminating with age too, and you know, certainly what we accept, or maybe this is my own journey, is that I'm a far more critical consumer of everything. You know, just because someone shouts something loudly enough for long enough, anyone who's, you know, worked in the world of nutrition, and, you know, I know we've got our own little running joke in low carb Melbourne where somebody will post something, it's like, you know, I've got to go and fact check that now. It's like, I'm not going to take this, and as I called it, the aging default, I'm not going to take that default for granted. And I think especially as women, we have the baggage of history, just like I think our attitude towards sugar is, you know, I think that's baggage that we actually carry from Elizabethan times. And yes, we are under the reign of Elizabeth II, but this is from, you know, Elizabeth I, when sugar was just such a massive status symbol. We have guests over and we wheel out something sugary, a cup of tea and something sweet. And I do wonder how much of this was just that ingrained thing of, you know, if one was entertaining, having your feast, they used to make little sculptures out of sugar because it was so precious. You know, and now it's just everywhere. It's like, this is not precious stuff. But I guess part of it is just that, you know, the wiring of the brain and how we react to it. And similarly, I think, you know, until probably certainly our generation, I think there's that thing of being a little bit genteel as a woman, that, you know, even the difference between our mother's generation and our generation, you know, for their generation, a minority of women were outworking, or even outworking full time. That's quite, wow. Whereas now you look at it, most mums are working, and a stay-at-home mum is a rare and a beautiful thing for her own children. And yet there's this battle of the, you know, what do women do with themselves, the mummy guilt that we feel. But I think there's still that thing of, you know, come retirement age, that we pick up hobbies like cross-stitching rather than CrossFit, you know.
We'll be at the CrossFit.
yeah, got to work up to that. But even the same thing, I bumped into an older member of my own community at the gym a while back, when I was at the gym, so that would have been pre-COVID maybe. She said, "Oh, don't tell anyone that you saw me here." And I went, "What?" I said they should be ashamed of themselves that they're not at the gym, because this is the maintaining lean muscle mass is one of the biggest favors we can do ourselves as we age. It helps with our mobility. And in terms of mobility, it's that basic stuff of physically navigating our way through day-to-day life. If you've lost the ability to be able to walk to the bathroom, then life has automatically become a whole lot more challenging. Yeah, there is a lot we can do, and I guess part of it is enjoying the journey as we're in it, not smashing ourselves, not white knuckling it. I don't especially enjoy the gym. I find other things to do now, or got my own little setup at home, which and then you don't have to worry who you don't bump into. We're all doing it for ourselves.
Yeah, and that's right. That's the thing too. We can certainly see new things around it. I haven't set foot in a gym since I stopped. Oh gosh, before I had Paulie, I think I stopped PTing in a gym, and I just think that there's so many ways we can enjoy keeping ourselves physically active and physically strong, but it is so worth it. And again, it's all part of that knowledge, right? We don't get told it enough, and we believe that being bulky is like not a female thing, and being strong so is. And it's so wonderful to feel strong and to do things that constantly challenge our own resilience as well. So yeah, I love it, Jillian. I think I could chat to you all day, and often when we get together we do. So but I'm going to let you go, and obviously you're talking the summit's just going to be so fascinating. Definitely looking forward to it. Can't thank you enough for the work you do and being a part of this and turning up today. Thank you.
And thank you for the opportunity and for everything you do, which is pretty huge. And I can only imagine that we must be like herding kittens, so wrangling all of the presenters. But it's going to be fantastic, and I'm looking forward to everyone's presentations.
Brilliant. Thanks, everyone.
Super.
Bye.